should like Bad and Boujee, but instead he likes Ass and Dookie.
Hey, what's up? What's going on, everybody? You have now tuned in to my love and hip-hop recap. Guys, make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so, and share this video wherever you like to share videos. Alright, so let's see. Shout out to Perfect Imperfections, who said KK was telling Tommie the truth. She didn't want to hear KK really cares for Tommie. She's not just going to agree with Tommie just to make her feel good. Real friends call you out on your BS. You are so true. And I say that all the time. Like, if you're a real friend, you're not going to let somebody walk out looking ratchet and, you know, with a dress that just looks hideous on them, showing all of their parts that they don't want to be showing, and be like, yes girl, you slaying, even though you know they look horrible. You know what I mean? A real friend will be like, well, maybe you should put on your shaper under that dress, or maybe you shouldn't have ate all that food. You know, they'll say it in a nice way, but they won't let you know. You know what I mean? Because they don't want you looking crazy out there. And so that's how KK is. So now Tommie, her mom arrives at her little thing that she's having, her little wine tasting, which was, it actually turned out to be pretty good. At first I was like, I don't know how this is going to be right about now, but it came out really nice. She actually started getting emotional and everything because her mother was there, and they actually got a chance to kind of like talk things out, and Tommie actually apologized to her mother. She was crying a little bit. Her mother like, no, like, don't be crying. Like, you could tell that her mother was the type to like not really want her to show emotion, which is probably why she is the way she is. Like, one of those moms that just be like, nah, you ain't crying, don't be crying, suck that up, you a boss chick, you know, like really like on some gangster thug life, like, you know, you can't do that. That's what it kind of seemed like to me. That's probably why she's such an emotional roller coaster like she is. Joseline, she's now pretending to build a crib. Like, she knew she was not going to be building that crib. If anything, she would hire somebody to do it. But it made for a good scene. She had Dawn over, she had Melissa over, and she reveals to them that Stevie J is the father. You are 99% positive that you are the father, or whatever the hell Maury used to say. He still say that, don't he? I haven't watched Maury in such a long time. I used to be my show though back in the days when I had days off and I was able to actually watch it. So yeah, she tells them, and Melissa's like being super supportive, and she's just like, you know what, it sucks that Stevie J is not here, but her friends are here to help her. And I'm like, okay. And she says that she's about to pretty much, like, I feel like she's holding the child as like ransom. And I hate when mothers do that. And she's like, she's going to go and she's not going to be like Mimi the maid. She's going to make sure that she gets child support. Okay, toot for that. You know, I don't have no problem with that. But Dawn is all like, yeah, that's how you make sure that you get your money. Evidently, it's not, because I've had issues where I haven't gotten paid in how long, how many years, and he didn't he have to go to court or something because he wasn't even paying child support. So just because you file it, I mean, doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to happen right away, or that he's going to be paying straight off the bat. I mean, he'll become like a fugitive on the run because they're going to put out a warrant for you, but he doesn't necessarily have to pay right away. I mean, I'm pretty sure they could probably take it out of his love and hip hop paychecks or something like that. But yeah, for some reason, he ended up owing tons and tons of money. So yeah, she was just saying that to her, and she was saying something about how she about to be off to Miami, and she kind of regrets the fact that he knows, and he's going to regret denying her baby. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, Joseline does act pretty slack. You know what I mean? She does act loose. She be out there. She took pictures with Rick Ross, the boss. You know, she took pictures with him up in the club. Like, he was all holding her all close. I mean, there was mad dudes that she was, like, hanging out with and stuff. So, you never know. Why not take the test? I mean, when you have somebody that you're questioning, yeah, take it, confirm. I mean, he shouldn't have been out there like, nah, it's not my kid, when you knew it was a possibility. Yeah, but I mean, you know now, so just let him be the best father that he can be and prove himself, you know? Like, y'all don't have to go through this crazy battle where you're trying to deny him, because at the end of the day, unless you have proof that he's doing something crazy, I don't think she can really like fully have him denied from seeing his child, you know. And he can probably do something to stop her from talking about she's moving away and not giving him access. Like, he still has to be able to see his child. I hate when people do stuff like that, because that's not a good look. Like, you're not doing anything good for your child by doing that because you're mad at his father. Now, Rasheeda and Scrappy, and let me tell you, honey, Scrappy was looking like a troll, okay? He was looking like a straight up, like he belonged under a bridge. That's how he looked with that little blonde hair that he had sticking up. I don't know what these Love and Hip Hop dudes be all smoking, but all of them must be doing some puff past the Dutchie over up on the left-hand side. Because, I don't know, they all be looking crazy. Why him and Joc gotta look all extra? It's like, what, y'all trying to be trending topics? Y'all trying to do something out there? Because you see the girls always switching up their hair, so you want to do something too? I don't know. So yeah, he talks to her and just kind of see where her head is at right now, because she hasn't really talked to him, or he's just he said he tried to like really stay out of everything, but he wanted to go and talk to her. So he kind of shares what he heard at the pool poker game or whatever. He heard that Joc might have smashed and Kirk might have smashed, but Kirk is claiming that it's not his and all this. And she says that she may want to pursue a divorce. She's not really sure where she's at right now, but right now they're like living separate lives. So they're pretty much separated. Carly Red met up with Miss Cena. And if he wasn't, let me tell you something before we move on to the next part. If he wasn't doing anything before, which he already pretty much said he was, then he definitely going to do something now, because I mean, they was in the same house and he wasn't getting none. So he definitely going to go out on the prowl and be getting them little hookers and hoes and strippers and models and whatever he can get, you know, he's going to go ahead and try. I bet you, because them lonely nights, ain't gonna work for him if he couldn't even do it when she was sitting next to him. I mean, just because she ain't give him that affection. That's the claim. That's the quote unquote. Carly Red, she meets up with Miss Cena, who's we know is Joc's baby mother, and you know, once she's trying to meet up with somebody, she's up to no good. She is doing something downright and dirty. So she says that, well, Cena actually revealed that she lied about the whole Rod situation. Because I'm like, girl, could you really be this stupid that you want to be number 4? You want to be his, or what? Number 3, actually. You want to be his 3rd girlfriend? I mean, that's just a little doing too much. I mean, he is not Hugh Hefner. He do not look that cute. I'm pretty sure he ain't rich like that, because first of all, he was in jail, so they probably took his assets, and second of all, he's on this Love and Hip Hop show, so why would he be on this Love and Hip Hop show unless he's either hungry for fame or needs money? I mean, I even contemplated calling up Miss Mona Scott Young and saying, can I be on Love and Hip Hop New York real quick? I actually went to the auditions, but I got there too late. I was going to be an extra or do something, but I was going to be up in there. But they didn't want me to win. But that's a whole nother story. Anyways, so now Cena, she goes ahead and passes on the tea that Joc, he was getting the goodies from what she heard through the grapevine, through her friend Treasure P, or whatever the hell the girl name is, that he's getting the goodies from Miss Tommie. So Carly Red is like, oh yeah? Oh really? So the two of them, now they're going to plot. Battle of the exes, or well, battle of his girls. I don't even know what you want to call them, because battle of the smash chicks. I don't know. So now Mimi, she goes to see Melissa to find out how friendly Melissa and Joseline really are, because she's starting to hear that she's like getting people back together and getting Joseline in good graces with these people and all these things. And she's just like, you know what? Melissa's doing too much, because Melissa said that they just had like a business relationship and they wasn't really too buddy-buddy. But I'm like, I could have sworn, unless I had it confused, I could have sworn that Melissa said that she was cool with Joseline and she knew her for all these years. Or did she just say that in the confessional but told Mimi something else? I don't know. Anyways, so Mimi, she just started going from like 0 to 100. First they was having a conversation, and then it just ended up being Mimi screaming at freaking Melissa, and I'm just like, Mimi is crazy. It's like, and she's been doing this for years. Like, she be talking to you regular, and all of a sudden she just gets mad loud out of nowhere, and it's just like weird because she doesn't seem like the type to really get like that. But, I mean, seeing her do it so many times, I guess that is the way she really is. But it just seems so out of character when you look at her in person. Well, not in person, because it's not like I'm up in her face like this, hey girl. But, you know, looking at her on TV, she doesn't seem like the type to act the way that she does. But then again, she was holding on them rods, and we didn't think she would have did that either. That she made a good lie, compelling lie too, and backed it up and kept on going with it. So Melissa tells Mimi that Joseline's in a whole nother place. She's actually happy, she's different. And she also revealed that, because I guess Ariane was like, you know, you gotta watch out for Melissa. So she was like, Ariane's just jealous because I'm not smashing her anymore, that's it. And I guess Mimi didn't know about this, but so she felt some type of way because I guess she's been doing something with Melissa here and there, you know. She's let stuff happen because that's everything I'm hearing is leading to she and Melissa got something going on, but they just not making it official. It's just something they doing when they want to do something, you know. So, Mimi and Ariane do end up having a conversation about her smashing Melissa and not really saying anything to her. Ariane was just like, this is the lesbian code, this is what happens. But Mimi wasn't really feeling that answer. She's like, you know, you're supposed to be my friend, you're supposed to let me know stuff like this. And I guess she kind of regrets the fact of whatever she's been doing or has done with Melissa because she didn't have this knowledge before. Ariane then meets up later on with Melissa. Like, everybody was meeting up with everybody because they wanted to, like, have that one-on-one moment. And Ariane, she wanted to find out why Melissa had told Mimi about this when, quote-unquote, it happened, like, years and years ago, like 20 years ago or something like that. And Melissa says that, you know, that she just did what she felt like she wanted to do, basically. And I guess... and she also says to Ariane that she felt like she was jealous when she found out that she had something going on with Mimi. And she was like, she didn't even know that she had something going on. So, yeah, it was just a whole bunch of crap. You know, it's just like, whatever. And they seem like they're not cool anymore. Melissa's just like, all right, then when I see you, and that's it. Like, you know, I won't even acknowledge your existence. Jessica in time, she goes to see Carly Red. I'm like, here we go. These two is back. Well, I mean, they was always cool, but, you know, now she don't have Tommie anymore, so she gonna be seen with this one more. Jessica says that she was cool, that she is actually cool with Joseline now, and Carly Red's just like kind of over that. And she also lets her know what happened with Tommie. And Carly Red is just like, you know, I knew that would happen because you can't be around a scammer. You know, that's just the stuff that happens. Like, you can't have friends that are scammers. And, of course, because Jessica Dime is no longer cool with Tommie, she says that she was at her wine tasting, but it was more like a piss tasting because it tasted so nasty. And I'm just like, don't do that. Because if that was your friend, you would have never said anything like that. Like, you would have been glorifying and clapping it up. You would have been drinking it and cheersing and making a toast to that. But as soon as you fall out of good graces with somebody, all of a sudden it's nasty. All of a sudden you would never drink that. Like, it's not good enough for you. I mean, she did say that she don't really drink wine or whatever, but you was sipping it down though when y'all was cool up until she threw it in your face, and then it became a problem. So, Carly Red says, well, she told Carly Red about the whole thing with Tommie talking to Joc, and Carly Red is like, you know, I already know. I found out through Cena, and we got something planned. We're going to be doing something. Scrappy and Kirk, they meet up, and he kind of tells him that he did meet up with Rasheeda, and that they just kind of, that she's really hurt at the end of the day. And he was like, oh, that's... when he was coming, like, it's that same type of story like Shooter had. He was like, it's just with her, it's just work, work, work. You know, she's work, 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 work. She's doing a Rihanna. You know, she's work, work, working all the time. And then when she come home, she lay inside the bed and she just turn around and, you know, don't want to give him no love and affection, no cookie, no nookie, no nothing. So he feels neglected. So he go out and get what he want to get. And he was just so... Scrappy kind of asked him, like, do you think you're the father of this baby? Like, what's up? Are you going to take a test? You going to do something? He's just like, nah, I'm not doing it because I know that's not my kid. Like, and Scrappy made a good point in the confessional. He's like, by him saying this and acting like that, it's kind of making him look like he is the father, and he's just scared that it's going to prove that he actually is, you know? It's kind of like, if they don't catch me, they can't charge me type of thing, you know? Like, I don't got to pay child support if I ain't proved to be the father. Once you got that on the paper, even if you're just trying to prove it to your wife, once you got that down on the paper where it says that 99.999%, that means you got to pay up. So, I mean, at the end of the day, she could probably serve him or whatever, but... yeah, so he's trying to avoid all that, and for him, avoidance is key. So yeah, he's quote unquote confident that that's not what's happening. So yeah, Mimi goes to see Stevie J. He does let her know that he is the father of the baby, and of course she goes off on that 0 to 100 again. And she's just like, you know what? I do not want her around my child. Like, you're going to try to do that whole, oh, we playing house thing again. No, I do not. And she seemed like she was, like, super adamant. I didn't really know the tea, but I remember, like, a few episodes, one of you guys had told me that that Joseline said something about Stevie J had touched up the little Eva or whatever. And to put some false allegations out there into the world when she loves her father so much, I mean, I'm really hoping it's not true, and it seems like it's not. That's ridiculous. Like, if I was him, I would never forgive anybody for saying stuff like that, because that's scum, low-life stuff. Like, you can get somebody put in jail, you can get somebody's kids taken away. It's so much, and then it could kind of seem like Mimi had knowledge of this. Like, you know, it just makes things real nasty, and you putting kids into this now. Like, you doing a little too much. So I can definitely relate. Well, not necessarily relate, but I can understand why Mimi would be so adamant about not having her around her daughter, because she's a bad influence, and she lied on her daughter pretty much. And she even went as far as to say, I'm serious, and if I find out that she's around my daughter, I will put a restraining order against her. And, you know, you got to do what you got to do. Because if you're serious, you got to let people know you're serious. But, I mean, she trying to go to Miami anyway. So, I guess Eva won't be seeing her anytime soon. So, Joc, he's having a show now. This was pretty much like the last thing that was going down. He was having a show, doing some jokes, talking about his hair, talking about the treasure troll, a.k.a. Scrappy. And who walks in? None other than the boss chick, Miss Carly Red herself, with her tag teammates. She had who she had? She had Cena on one side, and then she had her henchman looking like a ranger over there, Melissa on the other side. And I'm just like, this should be interesting. So Tommie's sitting there with Joc and old girl, lovely Mimi. You know, Miss Loud, lovely Mimi. And, you know, they have the war of the words or whatever. Tommie says what she has to say, like, all right, get out of here. You're not wanted, you're not needed, and he's with me, that's it. You know, just trying to rub it in real quick. So Carly Red, like, threw something. And lovely Mimi was getting loud, too. So she threw something. I think she threw something at her, too. And then she started getting louder. But the thing about it is, the only reason why lovely Mimi is acting like that is because of what Tommie told her. Like, she doesn't know the backstory. She don't know anything about anything. I mean, yes, at the end of the day, this kind of was Carly's fault. You know, it kind of was. But I don't really feel like Lovely Mimi should have really got into it because this had nothing to do with her. And just like I feel like the other two, Melissa and Cena, well, Cena kind of, she's involved, but Melissa really didn't need to really be in it either because Melissa ain't really have nothing to do with anything. Like, she's not doing Joc, so like, why you even there? What, you trying to be her bodyguard or something like that? I don't understand. But at the end of the day, Carly Rae do know she need a little bit of help because if that X-Men jump on her, she done. You know what I mean? No. Like, that girl has hand skills. I wouldn't even mess with her. I'm just saying. And I'm one of those people, I don't think when I'm upset, for the most part, when I'm like really, really pushed to the limit. But with her, I'll be like, you know what? We good. You know, because I don't want them X-Men moves. I don't want you wrapping your legs around me and pounding me out like that. Nah, I'll pass, bruh. I'll pass. But yeah, that was pretty much the episode, you guys. Make sure you comment down below and also be on the lookout for my Basketball Wives recap, which is going to be right after this. Thanks for watching. Be sure to stay fabulous, live free, and soar limitless. I'll see you in the next one. Laters.